Good morning, guys, from Liverpool, one of the greatest cities in the world. I was up here last night watching the football, and I thought, going back to Shrewsbury today, why not make a video or two? So I'm going to be taking the train down to Chester, not by the usual Merseyrail Wirral Line service, but with Transport for Wales, going via Runcorn. Now, it's a service that only runs every couple of hours apparently, so I was really interested to find out what it was like. So why don't you come with me? We'll take a walk up to Lime Street, see what's going on, and I'll catch you on the train. Cheers for now. It was a pretty dreary day in Liverpool as I made my way to Lime Street. A fantastic terminus though, built way back in 1836 by the Liverpool and Manchester Railway Company. There are 10 platforms under its beautiful arched roof, and a further platform, Platform A, on the underground station that connects Lime Street with the Merseyrail network. The services to the city are currently operated by Avanti West Coast, Northern, East Midlands Trains, Trans-Pennine Express, London North Western Railway, and our operating company today, Transport for Wales. There are the usual station services you would expect to find at a large city station like Lime Street. The main departures board can be found just to the left of platforms 1 to 5, above the ticket office and a costa. Our train will be leaving from platform 7 today, a 2-car class 153 diesel multiple unit. So let's go and get on board, shall we, and we'll see what it's got to offer. Well, first impressions for me were spacious. There's a really big area here for priority passengers, with great wheelchair access, which we'll have a look at a little bit later on. The carriage is laid out in the usual 2-2 configuration, with a mixture of table and airline style seating. Now, the seats themselves are firmly upholstered in the refurbished Transport for Wales livery. A drop-down arm rests between the seats here and to the sides. The tables between the facing seats are large and nicely designed. Now, I see quite a lot of these light wood tables these days, and I think the colour goes really well with most interiors and moquettes. Now, this is good to see, a conventional and double USB power, plenty for both seats, though they aren't located at all seats in the carriage. Legroom doesn't look that great if all 4 seats were occupied, I don't think. The table post doesn't help, but I'm not sure much can be done about that, to be fair. You can see here that if somebody was sitting opposite me, then yeah, legroom would be pretty tight. And I'm not sure it's particularly great in the airline style seats either. I'm nowhere near 6 foot tall, but anybody around that height would struggle, I think. Fold down tables here were okay, a bit stiff to be honest. They're just built into the seat backs, aren't they really? But they were clean, which is the most important thing. Anyway, let's get on with the journey, shall we? We're leaving Liverpool on time, and it'll take us about 48 minutes to get down to Chester, stopping at Liverpool South Parkway, Runcorn, Frodsham and Helsby on the way. Now, there was hardly anyone using this train today, and I did wonder why anyone would bother going all the way to Chester on it. And in comparison, the Merseyrail service down the Wirral Line takes about the same amount of time, but importantly it runs every 15 minutes compared to every 2 hours on this one. And it stops at a lot more stations too. The first 2 stations on this line are South Parkway, which we're coming to now, and Runcorn. But they're already served by other trains, so unless you're getting on or off at Frodsham or Helsby, I can't really see the point of it. And even then you can get to those 2 stations if you go down the Wirral Line to Ellesmere Port and just change trains there. Maybe I'm missing something really obvious, so if you've got any thoughts or information to add, then please let me know in the comments below. Right, so we just made our way across the River Mersey via the Ethelfleda Viaduct, which runs pretty much parallel to the Runcorn Bridge just to its east. And I believe aircraft can use this bridge as a visual aid when landing at the nearby Liverpool airport. Now, the weather was getting worse as we pulled into Runcorn station, and as we left, I thought it time to check out the accessible toilet in this carriage, which was located just next to the wheelchair space at the front of the train. The door is open, closed and locked with the push buttons here, and there is a large mirror above a not so large sink area.
The toilet door is locked.
Now, I tried the soap dispenser, tap and hand dryer above the sink, but none of them were working. So I think there must have been a fault here, and that obviously needs addressing. A toilet roll was available, and there was a litter bin back over towards the door. The baby changing table folded down over the toilet, and that was clean enough. There is another tall mirror here with an emergency call button to the left. The mirror has extra sections down to the floor, which may have been an afterthought, but it was still a thought, I guess. Fold down handle next to the toilet with flush button behind, and another emergency call button here at floor level. Yeah, the toilet area was clean enough, but the washing facilities were out of order, so ultimately this gets an unsatisfactory rating from me.
The toilet door is locked. The toilet door is not locked.
What was good to see though was the adequate provision for wheelchairs, and as I said before, here's a closer look at the space, and you can see there's ample room here, a small table and even a fold down chair for accompanied helpers if need be. So I had a bit of a wander up the sparsely populated train at this point, and as you can see we have luggage racks above the seats on both sides, and also storage for heavier items here opposite a section of fold down seats. There is allegedly room for 2 bicycles on these trains, so I guess this is where you want to be putting them. There are visual displays in both carriages denoting the next station stop, and in this carriage there is a second smaller toilet. Unfortunately, this was out of use, which made the lack of washing facilities in the other toilet even more of a problem, really. I returned to my seat and thought I'd have a go at getting the Wi-Fi to work. Now, Transport for Wales Wi-Fi is notoriously poor in my experience, and today was no exception. In fact, although it informed me that I was surfing with limited speed, in reality I wasn't surfing at all. So 0 marks for connectivity here. Anyway, who wants to be playing on their phone when we have the delights of the English weather outside? Let's enjoy some more scenery as we head southwest through Frodsham and Helsby towards our final destination of Chester. We pulled into Chester, dry and on time. The price I paid for today's journey was £6.30 for a single adult fare. Alright guys, yeah, got to Chester on the Transport for Wales service from Liverpool Lime Street. What do you think of that? Got a bit of a soft spot for the Class 153 to be honest, and it was alright. Legroom's a bit tight in them, isn't it? And also the toilets, well, there were two toilets on the train. One of them, the non-accessible toilet, was out of order, and the other one, well, I couldn't get the water or soap or hand dryer to work, so a couple of negatives there really for Transport for Wales. Yeah, a bit of a dull day. Otherwise, I think the scenery would have been nicer. But there you go, it is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and until next time guys, cheers for now.